Go inside the Crimson Tide with your hosts Rodney Orr and Gary Harris, keeping you informed on everything Alabama. And now, Tider Insider TV.
It was documented on social media that Lane Kiffin missed the bus last night. Do you know what happened with that?
He ended up hitching a ride with me. I miss the bus about every game, so I'm always anybody's fallback for a ride. I just think he was, probably happy and taking his good old time about, talking to players and that type of thing. So I don't think it was any. We enjoyed having him with us.
Yeah, I think after the game, Nick Saban coached last night, and Lane Kiffin called that they enjoyed their ride back to the team hotel, even if Lane Kiffin missed the bus. And with that, we say good evening and welcome in to Tider Insider TV. I'm live here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and through the magic of television, Rodney is live there in Tuscaloosa. And you know what? We can still share a Pepsi together. Tider Insider TV brought to you by Buffalo Rock. Rodney, here's to you, my friend. National championship number 16.
We didn't have anybody here to put mine in the freezer today, Gary.
And in the Valley of the Sun, even though the sun's going down.
Missed that.
That tastes good. All right, Alabama got it done last night in one of the most memorable national championship games ever. 45-40 over previously unbeaten Clemson. It was a remarkable game. Deshaun Watson, the Clemson quarterback, is good as advertised. He was amazing, over 400 yards passing, over 70 yards rushing, but Alabama had a dynamic offensive attack as well. Rodney, let's begin our analysis of the game. It was an amazing game. How did you see it play out?
Well, Gary, it really didn't play out like I kind of expected it to. I mean, I don't know that I had a vision exactly how it would play out, but I didn't think it would be 45-40 in terms of the final score. But, really when I look at this game, I think that Clemson had Alabama right where they wanted them with about 13 minutes left in the game. And I think that, to me, that's the point where the game changed. Clemson was up 24-21. They had just stopped Alabama. They had taken over near midfield. They picked up a first down on first down. It was vital that Alabama find a way to stop them. They did on the next 3 downs, forced a punt, got the ball back, drove down on a couple of big throws by Jake Coker to Ardarius Stewart, and they moved into field goal range, tied the game. And then, we've talked about the special teams and the things that they did in this game, and we talked about the onside kick, and that allowed Alabama to get themselves in a position right after tying the game to go ahead. And I thought that was the biggest part of the game right there, because you're talking about, had Clemson taken the ball down and scored and made it a 10-point game, I'm not sure Alabama would have been able to make up that deficit in the final 9 minutes of the game. And not only that, Gary, but I think when you look at it and being able to be up 31-24 versus being down 31-21, that's a 17-point turnaround.
Rodney, I think that game last night spoke to the greatness of Nick Saban. His ability to evolve. A few years ago, Alabama might not have been able to win a game like that. The defense gassed for well over 500 yards, giving up 40 points. But Alabama's offense, Coker, another splendid game, over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Henry, 150 plus, 3 touchdowns. O.J. Howard, a career game, over 200 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. And Kenyon Drake, all-purpose yards, the 95-yard kickoff return. Alabama found a way to win, even when its defense wasn't up to par.
Total team effort, Gary. There's no question about it. Alabama earned this win. When you look at it, you mentioned a lot of the individual stars. Here's the biggest right here towards the end of the game when Kenyon Drake breaks this 95-yard touchdown run. As you mentioned, Alabama has a lot of ways to beat you. And all of those kind of ways came together in this game when Clemson scored a lot of points. that allowed Alabama an opportunity to stay in the game and then make big plays in the fourth quarter, outscoring Clemson 24-16 in the quarter to make the final difference 45-40. So I think when you really look at that, in the fourth quarter, Alabama, though they were on the ropes, Clemson didn't deliver the knockout blow. And when you don't deliver the knockout blow to a team like Alabama with a championship mentality, which this team has had, you're setting yourself up, and that's really what happened when Clemson couldn't deliver that blow.
Nick Saban and the coaching staff answered the challenge from a Clemson team that was hungry, talented, but didn't have enough. Let's hear now from Nick Saban on this Alabama football team and what they accomplished.
I wish you could turn it on and turn it off, but I wake up at 6:15 every day, no matter what time I turn it in. And it was a late night last night, but it was a fun night and one that we'll always remember. So very proud of our team, the way they competed in the game, the way they made plays when they needed to make them, the way they overcame adversity all year long to get to this point and create an opportunity for themselves that they were able to take advantage of. So can't say enough about everybody involved with our team.
Great performance. And now this team, national champions forever, 2015, that can never be taken away from them. And every recruiting class Nick Saban has signed has won a national title. Marinate on that for a moment. Rodney, you hold tight. When we come back, we're going to have more on the game. We're going to hear from the players and their reaction. Also, later on, we'll be taking your phone calls at 205-348-WVUA. That's 348-9882. Or you can email us, TITV@WVUA23.com, or reach out to us on Twitter using the hashtag TITV. Tider Insider TV, presented by Buffalo Rock, will continue from Tuscaloosa and here in Scottsdale right after this.
I talk about perspective sometimes. So, and look, I don't want to minimize anything that was accomplished by this team, but just to put this in perspective, and these guys will kick me for saying this, but if this was the first game of the season instead of the last, what would we be talking about now? You guys would be asking me about how'd you give up 40 points and how to get 400 yards passing and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I kind of get it.
What a great point by the coach. Season opener, you get gashed like that, everybody's saying, what's wrong with Alabama? The defense is awful. It's going to be a long year. But in a national championship game against a great football team with the best quarterback in the country, just finding a way to win is what it's all about. Alabama ties the school record for wins in a season with 14. They go 14-1, and they win the national champion. Of course, Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart, they all had a big hand in this. But it's the players that have to go out and perform and execute the game plan and find a way to get it done. And that's what these Alabama players did this season. Let's hear now from some members of the Crimson Tide, national champions for 2015.
I couldn't ask for a better team. I love these guys, man. It's my last year. I'm so happy we won, man. I'm just happy, dog. Words can't express. Words can't express.
We can breathe a little bit now. We don't got the 24-hour rule anymore. Well, at least not for right now. So, we can come out and breathe, and we can celebrate this win a little bit.
I mean, we just kept our composure and just kept fighting and just kept going throughout the game. And we knew things were going to happen, things were going to open up.
We just wanted to come out and execute this game plan they gave us, man. We had an excellent game plan, and we came out and we did a great job of executing the game plan. That's it.
I mean, it took everybody's effort, We knew it was going to be a tough game. It was going to come down to the wire. It was going to come down to the defense getting a stop when we had to, and we definitely did that. I'm just so proud to be on this team and just playing with these guys, and just proud of the way we finished it out.
Everybody ain't perfect, man. We're a solid defense, but at the same time, everybody got their weakness. But it's just the outcome of the game, man. We won, but everybody's not perfect. It means everything. It show you how hard we work. It show you we determined. It's the off-season work, man. It's a family. We did this together out here.
Here at Alabama, you never know who's going to go off on any given game. And just to see him come through in such a clutch game, in such a big-time game, it's just amazing to see.
I'm so proud of him, man. He really went from a boy to a man tonight. He really transformed tonight. I'm so proud of him, man.
Yeah, when you win the national championship for Alabama, that's about all you can ask for. I mean, that's the top for me. I couldn't be more proud of this team and just excited that we got it done in my home state. And I know it hadn't set in yet, but golly, man, it's unbelievable.
You need a big play. He's there to make it. And I wish I could have had him as a quarterback for longer than just a year. He's a great competitor, a really great teammate, a great friend that I've gotten to know really well. I'm going to miss him. I know this team's going to miss him a lot.
I'm blessed to have my teammates and coaches that I have, and it's just been an unbelievable year. It's something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
When me and my dad were talking about me leaving Oregon State and, going to a different school, the one thing was I wanted to be in the best place I could, and, I wanted to win. And, what better place is there than Alabama?
It's been a lot of fun. We're like family, and everybody support each other, everybody loves each other, and everybody's always on the same page. We always look out for each other. Leadership did a great job by setting an example, and everybody bought in, all the other guys and younger guys. So it's just been a family type year, and I'm so thankful for all my teammates.
What a year. And O.J. Howard and other draft-eligible juniors have a decision to make now. They put off talking about the draft because they wanted to be committed to this team, but now they've got to get together tomorrow and make a decision. Nick Saban this morning talking about how he wants these guys go about deciding on whether or not they're going to enter the draft.
We try to emphasize with our players, if you're a first-round draft pick, the business decision is you should go out for the draft. If you're in a position in the draft where you can enhance your value by staying in college, then maybe you should go out for the draft. We've had a significant number of players, 17, I think. I might be off one or two. And there were only 2 of those 17 guys, 15 made good decisions about the best business decision for them. And in some cases, Reggie Ragland last year had a second-round grade. I'm sure he'll be a top 15 pick this year. If you want to do the math on that, that's like maybe $12, $14 million decision. Mark Barron did it a few years ago. He was a second-round guy, became the 7th pick in the draft. That was a $16, $18 million decision. Plus, he graduated.
So there you have it, a business decision. Nick Saban wants to help these guys make a smart one. Well, when we come back, your phone calls. Rodney's in Tuscaloosa. I'm here in Scottsdale. We'll answer your calls, listen to your comments. 205-348-9882 is the number. Give us a call. Tide or Insider, the only show that takes you inside the Crimson Tide, will continue right after this. Welcome back to TITV, presented by Buffalo Rock. Gary Harris live here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Through the magic of television, Rodney live in our studio in Tuscaloosa. And you know what? We're going to take phone calls. Let's go to our buddy Harold from Anniston first up tonight. Hey, Harold, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'd like to say roll tide. Hey, my question is about Tony Brown, guys. Y'all got any information? Will he be back next year?
I'll start here, Rodney, and I'll let you chime in. I don't know on Tony Brown. Got sent home from the Cotton Bowl, as we know. His teammates voted to send him home. The Players' Council did not make the trip here to Arizona for the national championship game. So clearly his future is uncertain. Now, no substantial statement has come yet from Nick Saban. I'm pretty confident we're going to hear something prior to spring practice. That is my guess. Rodney, what do you think?
Well, I mean, really right now it's just a matter of when, we hear something officially. I don't think there's really can be an opinion expressed because we don't know all the details of the situation other than what Gary just explained. So I think really right now all we can do is wait and allow, Coach Saban to address that when he decides to do it.
All right, we're going to take an email now. This is from Jake in Northport. Jake asking, is Nick Saban planning to retire or go to the NFL? Well, Jake, interesting that you would ask that question because Nick Saban was asked that question this morning at the national championship winning coaches press conference. Not so much about the NFL. but about whether or not he has thought about or is thinking about retirement. And he answered it very straightforward that he is a football coach. He's been involved in team sports since he was 9 years old. He loves it. He still has plenty of energy. It's not tiring to him. It's not boring to him. He loves seeing the players get self-gratification out of having a successful season. And as long as he's healthy and as long as he is enjoying what he's doing, he plans to continue to coach. As far as the NFL, I know there are still some out there that insist that Nick Saban wants to go back to the NFL because he's got some kind of unfinished business there. I don't see it that way. He was not a terrible NFL coach the way some want to categorize him. He was 15-17 in 2 seasons with Miami. I think he's going to continue coaching, and he's going to continue coaching right here at the University of Alabama. Rodney, your opinion?
Well, I think, Gary, when you look at it, and I've said this before, you know, I don't know what his thoughts are or what his goals are, but you look at him, he won his 5th national championship last night, and people are already saying he surpassed Coach Bryant. But the numbers say, you know, Coach Bryant had 6 national championships. That's the greatest of all time. And when you look at Nick Saban, he's on the verge of tying Bryant's record of 6. And I think with 7, obviously, he would be the greatest winner of all time in terms of national championships. And, you know, what a better place to do it right here than Alabama. Obviously, he couldn't do that in the NFL, and I think he's got the program set here. If he wanted to pursue that goal, he certainly would not want to go to another school. So I don't see, you know, retirement in his near future.
Thanks, Rodney. We're going to take a time out on the program. When we come back, though, more of your phone calls and emails. Again, the number, 205-348-WVUA. That's 205-348-9882. Tighter Insider rolls on, the National Championship Edition from Scottsdale and from Tuscaloosa, presented by Buffalo Rock. We're back after this. You got a sneak peek of this a while ago, and I forgot to talk about it. Amari Cooper is an NFL Rookie of the Year candidate, and he rewarded his former Alabama teammates with some great gifts. Beats headphones that said, "Finish strong, beat Clemson." They got the message as the Tide beat the Tigers 45-40 for the national championship. Welcome back to Tider Insider TV. Gary Harris here live in Scottsdale, Arizona. Rodney Orr live in Tuscaloosa, and you're live wherever you're at. And Sharon's live in Walker County. She joins us now on the phone. Hello, Sharon. Sharon, you with us? Sharon. All right, we lost Sharon, but Rodney, they told me she called in simply to praise the football team for their accomplishment. And I do want you to comment on that. No matter what happens going forward, this team will be national champions forever.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from them. What an amazing accomplishment. And to do it 4 times in 7 years, incredible. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, how could you have ever thought 4 national championships in 7 years? You're talking about at the beginning of 2009. They won in 09, 11, 12, now in 15. And, you know, this team in particular had their backs to the wall when they lost to Ole Miss in September. Nobody really thought they could do what they ended up accomplishing with the schedule that they had. You look at that October schedule. We talked about it many times. They went on the road to Georgia, came back and played a really good Arkansas team. Then they had to go on the road and play a Texas A&M team that was undefeated, a top 10 team, and obviously they took care of business there, came back home. They were a gas football team. They fell behind Tennessee with about 5.5 minutes left to go in the game and found a way to come back and win that game. And, you know, they just really finished strong, Gary, when you look at the entire season, how they overcame the obstacles. And, you know, that was kind of their mantra this year. And I think when you look at it, I think that what happened in the past, the last couple of years, really motivated this team towards the success for this year.
Well said, Rodney. Let's go to Dale in Haleyville. Welcome into TITV, Dale.
Hello. Who's going to be the starting quarterback next year, probably?
The million-dollar question. Rodney, it doesn't take long for Alabama fans to turn their attention from a championship season to next season. Early thoughts on the quarterback race and competition for 2016?
Well, I think all Alabama fans know who the candidates are. You obviously have Cooper Bateman, who's the returning backup, the highly acclaimed freshman Blake Barnett, who redshirted this past season. You know, David Cornwell is a guy that's also been a candidate. And Jalen Hurts, a true freshman who entered the school just a couple of weeks ago and took part in some of the bowl practices. I mean, those guys are the main candidates. You know, again, I don't think it's really fair to say right now because, you know, those guys need to go through spring practice and earn the spot. And I think all of them are going to have their opportunities to do that. And, you know, I think the best thing to do is kind of wait and see which guy kind of starts emerging in the spring.
Yeah, it will be interesting. And again, Alabama fans, they like to flip that page and already thinking about 2016. Thanks for the phone calls and emails. We're going to come back to Scottsdale and to Tuscaloosa to wrap up this edition of Tider Insider Television right after this.